Hello everyone, how's it going? Another day, another streaming. This time I'm excited because we have an very interesting subject to discuss. Okay, so if you're just finding out about our upcoming game, it has no name, we are just working on a prototype, but it's getting there, slowly but surely. It's like a Sokoban style kind of game where you have a few things like you can push boxes, and the box acts like a counterweight. We have like flashlights to push enemies to the side as well, and they start to chase you also if they see you, and you can lure them towards the platforms. So yeah, very interesting stuff that we can do. But today we are going to discuss a little bit how to work with the enemies because there's a problem, and I will try to explain it now. And it's about how the enemies work. So we have a grid here. This grid is going to be useful for us to kind of explain. Let's say that I'm here and the enemy is here. This is a puzzle game, so the user needs to be able to understand what the character will do. So if it's going to move over there, right? Give me a second. I will move a little bit closer. Let's make these guys smaller so we can see the arrows. Okay. So basically, if I'm here, the enemy could be doing something like move here, then it can move here, then it can move here, right? So it's like doing zigzag, right? Until he gets to us. But another option could be, for example, first it goes all the way here, and then it reaches to where we are. But at the same time, almost the same algorithm can do something like this, right? So imagine playing the game and you don't know where the enemies are going to go. It's going to be really hard for you to predict that moment. So, and in this particular game, it can also try to go diagonally. So we have a lot of options, and the most important thing to understand right now in a puzzle game is that the enemies has to be predictable. So I'm going to write here a little bit the questions. I have no idea how to solve this right now. I'm going to be completely honest. That's the entire purpose of today's stream, to try to figure out how to do this. I don't know. That's the truth. But yesterday I was trying to play around with the enemies and I encountered some issues. So number one is predictability. Right? It's the enemies for puzzle games. They have to have predictability, otherwise you don't know what to do. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that they have to be deterministic. This means that they always have to do the same thing. Otherwise, sometimes you might predict what it could do, but if it has some randomness, again, it's going to be really hard to predict. So that's no good for a puzzle game, right? And another issue is that basically the enemies mess up with whatever is in the puzzle. So if we have like a box, right? Let's imagine this is a box. When we need to figure out the path, for example. But let's say the enemy goes all the way here and then it can't reach us because it has no room to go. I mean, he can go like that, but let's imagine that the room is a little smaller. Actually, let's make a room. Let's say that this is the entire our entire scene is like this. Otherwise, right? So the other problem is basically pathfinding, right? And the last problem is how it interacts to other with the actual puzzle objects interaction. Because, for example, in our game, the enemy, the player can move the box. So if I move like this, then the box will move towards this side, right? Okay, so far so good, but the problem is that what happens if the enemy comes here, right? Can the enemy move the box? If the enemy can move the box, one of the issues is that it can mess up with our puzzle as well. I mean, we can do whatever, it's our game, but it really changes the entire thing, and we really need to think about that. And the problem I'm having right now with a particular game is this. When I have a character here, let's go to Godot actually. The problem is the following. I'm going to open another scene. This is the problem that we faced yesterday in the other yesterday stream. This is the issue. So, for example, the platforms work in a way with counterweights. So when we place a box in a platform, it goes down, and the other platform connected to that one goes up. So here, this platform and this platform are both connected, right? So if I lure the enemy, right, and he steps into the platform and then move out, and that's what happens. But in this particular example, what I want to do is to get over here and finish the level. So what do I do? Okay, here I can lure both enemies. They both step into the platform at the same time, and since they both go up and down, the platform goes up 2 floors, and now I can finish the level. Okay, so that's really nice, but if I move one of these enemies just 1 square, it messes up the entire thing, for example. I'm going to show you because it's not easy to see, and it's also a big problem that we are going to try to solve today. I have a few ideas. I didn't think about this. And let's say I do this again. Both enemies still see me, and they start to run, but now they behave different. Okay? And one steps into it, and the other one, it gets like in the air. Let's say that we can fix that with code somehow, so it still works, but they are behaving differently. And it's really hard to understand what they are going to do if they behave like that. So that breaks with our first rule, let's say, predictability. They are deterministic because they always do the same. They have pathfinding, so all good. And the puzzle object interactions, it's well defined because we know that we don't weight anything. I mean, we don't have a substantial weight to make the platform go down, and the enemies do, so we can use them as boxes, right? Another option is to use like a pile of books that we have in our game. See, this pile of books can get on top of this, and actually, let's trust me, if we push it, the platform will go down. So that's another part. So the enemies act like boxes that follow us all around. The problem with the enemy following all everywhere is that it can make some interesting things. So when we were playing today with this level, the enemy that is on the top right now is blocking us the box that we need. So for example, let's say that we need this box to go somewhere. This puzzle is not complete, but for example, the enemy sees us, and I can do something like this, right, where he chases us forever, and I can do like a turn. So I can go up, then I can go to the right, now down to the left. If I do this, I can change directions. But let's say I do this, now I cannot move anywhere, right? So the enemy behavior, it's predictable when it's just one. That's what I mean, right? Because we know what it's going to do. It's going to chase us everywhere. And even though it moves a little weird, we can pretty much know that it's going to try to get to us, and at some point it's going to try to kill us, basically. So there is some predictability with just one enemy, but we don't have any with two. And also, since they can detect us from a distance, sometimes we don't know if it's going to turn in one corner or the other corner. So going back to the algorithm and that actually we are using, um, this one was the one that I originally suggested. It's called Manhattan. Okay, the arrow doesn't want to go to the right direction. This one is called, it's an heuristic that's called Manhattan. So that's Manhattan heuristic. If we take a quick look at what it is, I'm trying to find a little graph that it's very more clear in a second. Here, this is really good. These are the types of Manhattan is like first it goes in a straight line and then it goes to the other line. So from going from point A to point B, it can be done like this, it can be done like that, it can be Euclidean, which is like kind of zigzagging. So the problem we have right now with our puzzle is that we don't know what to use, basically. And the other problem is that we are moving as well. So in a scenario where we need to move from point A to point B, like here, is you calculate what you need to do once, and then you just go. But for example, if we move one place, that needs to be recalculated again. So now it tries to go that way, and what's the other way. So what's happening here is like, if the path that he wants to do is this, he will try to do it, right? And if I stay still, he reaches out. But let's say that I move one cell to the other side. It's trying to do the DL, right? So it goes here, it goes here. Now we'll try to go down. But when I move to this point, yes, if you don't like math, it's going to be rough. But at the same time, I would say this is not math; it's more logic. But yes, it's hard as well. So the problem here is that it's trying to do the same thing again, right? The algorithm will try to move to the left first and then go down, right? So now the enemy is going to move, and now I go back to that side, and now the enemy calculates the same, right? Now it's going to do this again. So what it ends up happening is that when we move here, the enemy goes there, and then the enemy goes there, and we can be in a never-ending cycle of going back and forth. And of course, if you think about it in like an objective way, that shouldn't happen, right? What should be happen is that the enemy should be smart and it will start to come down, right, until it's very close, and now we are dead. So it seems like an easy problem to solve, but it's not, because the other issue is that if we start all the way here again, and now I move and we use the Euclidean way, right? Trying to get as diagonally, let's say. In this particular game, what's going to happen is that it's going to be six-sided, right? Now I do this, and he will do that, and then I do this, and now he will do that. So he gets actually near us and kills us. Enemy should calculate number of tiles to travel and turn points. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is that as soon as we move, the enemy has to recalculate the entire path. And if we have objects in the way, it's also another problem. So what ends up happening is that we don't have any way as a player to understand what's going on, right? So if you move here, is it going to move to the left or to the right? Maybe to the right. So I go one more and my brain will say, okay, now it's going to go here, and suddenly it goes there because it's trying to make a diagonal movement. And then I go like, okay, what is he going to do? It's going to be here or there? And I don't know. Let's say I try to go here and he will choose something, probably this one. And now I can go that way. But if he chooses to go here, now I can go the other way. So you can see how this starts to get very complex in this scenario. And the user doesn't have any way of knowing which way to go or what the enemy will do. And that's the problem with how we are predicting things right now. So let me just try our enemy sandbox here for a second. Okay, so if I grab his attention, right? Now I'm going to go this way, and he is going to either try to meet me at the same place or try to get near me towards this axis. So which axis is he going to go? We don't know, right? So I turn this and he goes down. Okay, now I think, oh, now it's going to go down one more time and he's going to step on the platform. Okay, he did that. Perfect. Now let's try it with the other one. Now I'm going to go down, so he chases me, right? And I go down, and he chases me. Oh, and now he turned, right? So he's like trying to get to me, but at the same time, it's doing it in like a weird way. See? Okay, so now that we know the problem, before I will use different enemy models to which the player can insight behaviors. Yes, exactly. That's a little bit of what I want to talk about right now, because we need to figure out different enemies and how they move. And I think one good way is going to be what you just mentioned. Thanks a lot. See you later. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so the problem with currently enemy chasing us is predictability. We don't have any predictability, and we don't have any way of doing anything to help the user with that. We can show his path or a lot of other things, but the reality is that we don't have any way of showing the user the path either, because as soon as the player moves, the enemy has to recalculate the entire path. So now what I'm trying to do is try to think about this in a different way. Let's say, what happens if the enemy doesn't move one at a time as the player, and it also doesn't follow us until the end of time? Let's say that, for example, I could be over here, and once he sees me, the path that he's going to plan is this, right? And when the user moves, he's going to go right where the user was before. So let's say this is, I'm moving one by one. When I get here, he sees me, and now I move back, and let's say that he sprints all the way where I am, for example. So now he is facing this way, and now I can move around, for example. Something like this will solve some of our problems because we can predict which way it's going to go if he's looking down, and we know that we can step on his vision and then it will do this, for example. It's deterministic because it will always go to our position. The path finding is pretty easy because if there's a box in the middle, he won't be able to reach us, and if there's nothing, he will reach us. And the objects and interactions with the environment could be pretty easy to do. So that could be one way. Another way could be to we if we stand still, maybe the enemy is going on a loop, like patrolling, right? And he doesn't see us. If we are standing right here, he doesn't see us. And only if I do this and the enemy also does that, he kills us. And you'll say, okay, well, what's the fun in that? Okay, you could have something like this, for example. Now we can fill the entire room with enemies, right? And I'm here and I have to see what I will do. I go down and these two go up and these two go down. So I move here, this one does this, and this, and then I have to do something like this, and they continue to move. And then I can't move here because otherwise this one will kill me. So I will have to go down again, right? And they start to go back. And then I do this. So now we are at this point, and now I have to figure out, okay, this one I can go here because it will eat me, and so back and so forth, right? So with a simple movement, we are actually now doing some interesting stuff, right? And we need to figure out what to do. Perhaps we can throw in a box here, and the enemy now is blocked, and he can't move anymore, so we can go around, for example. That could be one way. And that way it's predictable, it's deterministic, it always does the same thing. It can interact with some of the enemy, the rest of the puzzle, and the pathfinding is pretty easy to do. So what's the problem? There's no problem here, of course, but it's something that we could probably keep in mind. But this would be like a basic enemy. Now what I'm trying to think is what other types of enemy can we do if we make them move like that, right? So one of my ideas was, for example, to make a path, but it's not linear. One of my ideas is like, let's say we are here, and I can just play around and move around, and I always see that the enemy does something like this. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to get like a box or something from somewhere. I have boxes somewhere here. Okay. So I have this and I have this. Perhaps we know that this type of enemy, let's call it, we can probably change the color or something. Doesn't work. Okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, it has like a light blue. Yeah. Okay, so this one, when the enemy is light blue, it will do something like this, right? I don't know, the door, for example, to leave the level is there. Let's bring one door over here, just so we all know what's going on. Okay, let's say the exit's here, and the enemy is doing like this, right? Now the puzzle is how can I go here, right? And I move one place, and he goes here, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then if I do this, he moves, so I can go, right? But if it's like this, now perhaps we can't do it, right? So I have to do that and try to figure out a way to get there in a different time. Otherwise, I can't do this, right? Another option will be if the box is here, then he will be doing this, and I go here and this, right? And perhaps I can do something like change his path by pushing this box, and suddenly he goes here, and I go here, 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 and now we can move across. So that's another option that I'm thinking for the enemies. Another idea is, for example, that the enemies, instead of attacking like a melee, they could probably have something different. Let's say, let's paint this red, right? Let's say that the enemy is just standing still, and if I cross, he just attacks me. Like if I'm here, he has like a laser, boom, dead. That could be another enemy. So I have to put like a box in here only to go through, and I cannot move it. Like maybe it's just something that he won't chase me ever. So that's a little bit of what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to understand how it affects the other aspects of the game. Another thing that I have to consider is that when we try to figure out the interactions with the rest of the game, it's always good to add on top of the another mechanic, and if we can find a way of combining all these things, usually what's happening is that we end up with very rich gameplay mechanics. So if the mechanic is moving boxes and the boxes move the platforms, what I did with the enemies right now is that we can also use them as boxes. So now you have to think of the enemies in two ways. One is of them as boxes. Another one is that they can kill you. So you have to think about them in two ways. So yeah, that's a little bit what we are going to try to do basically in the next a couple of minutes. Feel free to throw any questions if you have them. By the way, thanks for watching, everyone. Okay, next. I think that I'm going to make a list of these different ideas just to keep them in mind, and we can go back to them later and try to figure out if we need more or not. So let's say enemy types. So one was chaser, what we have now, but we can only use one. Then we said like a dummy patrol. Let's call it like the one that moves in just one axis. We can select smart patrol like two axes. These are all melee. We can have like a range enemy. Doesn't move. And we also mentioned someone that charges towards you. But that one, we can actually work a little bit on that one because I have a problem with that one. I'm going to paint this. Let's say that this one is the charger. If we are here and he sees us, what he's going to do is go all the way up here, right? But the problem is that we end up in a situation where if he charges again, right, he will do this. And we kind of end up in the same situation as before. He is chasing us. So I think one of the things we could do is, let's say that we step into his line of sight and then we step like this. Perhaps he goes all the way to the other side. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a ball. He just keeps running. Oh, another way, if he has if there's a platform here, we know that it's going to step on it. And if we don't want that because we need to stop him from doing that, perhaps we need to block him. and do something like this, then he's going to be here, and then he's going to do this, for example. And that way, see, this is very interesting. Okay, I like this one. I'm going to write it down. Charger goes past player. Just so you know, I had some issues with the streaming, so I had to start. I should have started like 1 hour ago, and my computer wasn't working correctly, so I had to restart and reinstall a bunch of things. So it took me quite some time, so I had to cut this shortly in like 20 minutes. But yeah, just so you know. Okay, so moving on. Now, this charger it's very interesting. And before moving to Godot, because I think it's going to take us quite some time to actually implement that today, and I have to go in a little while. I think it would be very useful for us to. Hey, hello, thanks a lot. One of the things I think it's very useful. It's going to be very useful for us is to start to create a couple of puzzles just here, uh, because before moving to actually implementing stuff, I like to really get the hang of it and try to figure out what different situations we could have. So let's use the little platforms here like we had before. I'm using these as platforms. Uh, and I think we can play around a little bit with this. So I'm going to use the charger example because I think it's a really nice mechanic that we can use to play around a little bit. So first of all, one of the issues I've been having with the characters as they are now is that if you have two enemies chasing you, it's very difficult to make them be predictable. So it's going to be better for me to just not use many of those. But with chargers, I think it could be possible to do it because you can have like a different situation. But right now, if I do this, it's going to act weird. So let's just move to back here. So let's say that we have. Let's think how this will help us or not. So the first example I want to try out is like a regular thing where what's the equivalent of the things that we are doing now. So if I have let me show you one of the puzzles that we've been using lately. It's not the yeah, so for example, okay, this is interesting. For example, these are some of the differences. I'm going to show you this puzzle. With the charger, it will change everything basically, but it's good to make an exercise to see how some puzzles that we already have might not work. So for example, here, when the enemy sees me, I can, and he chases me, so he goes down, and then I can lure him again, right? So he goes out, and now I can get to the books, and then I go that up, and now when he sees me again, he starts chasing me, and I can lure him into the platform, and I can get this. But for example, if he sees me, now I cannot go anywhere, and he kills me, right? So I have to figure out what to do. So in this example, I think the difference will be that with the charger, if we are here, and we try to lure him, as soon as he sees me, he will charge, and perhaps it can run over the the platform, and it will not trigger it. So that's a little bit of how these things can change. So the puzzle logic interactions in this scenario, this enemy won't interact with the platform unless it's at the end of the level, let's say, or hits something. So for example, this one, if he's here and he charges forward, he reaches the end of the level, that will trigger the platform. Otherwise, it won't trigger the platform. That could be one of the rules of the enemy. And I think that can be easily understood from the user's perspective, and it can get us some tools. So that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. So let's try to write a little bit about the charger. Charger. Oops, what the hell? When is the player, it charges forward. If the charge ends in a platform, it activates it, but if not, it runs over it without activating it. And let's say boxes block his path and stop it. So let's try to figure out something like this. So what I'm saying is, this is the platform, the enemy is here. If I do this, he sees me, then I can move, and he will go all the way here. It will trigger the platform. But if the platform is here and I'm here, he sees me, I move, he charges and goes all the way down. And also, if I do something like, I don't know, like this, and I have nowhere to go, he will kill me. So that he can kill the user of capture. That's important. You'll be surprised that it's not as easy as it sounds sometimes. Okay, and what else? How can we make him? Let's say in this scenario, I want him to be here. So what I can do, for example, is I could potentially do something like this: push this box here, and then here, right? And then lure him, move to the side, he will go here, the platform will go down, right? So that's a nice interaction. Yeah, he can pretty much do the same here. So I move and then he goes here. What else? Okay, so I think it's good enough for us to try to code it and try it again on Monday, and see and play around a little bit with that one actually. So this is actually very predictable. It's easy to understand. It always does the same thing. The pathfinding is pretty straightforward, literally straightforward. And then we can define how it interacts with other parts of the puzzles. So there is one problem though. There is one problem. Yes, we are going to introduce a mechanic that is light, that the enemies won't be able to step into the light. So we need to figure out in this scenario. In this scenario, the user will be able to turn on the light, and the enemies that are in the light are get pushed. But what happens if I here he can charge? So I guess he would just stop where the light is. Oh yeah, that would be really good because I can actually manipulate it, like with the boxes where that could actually stop. So yeah, I think it actually works pretty good with this one. Okay, okay, I think this is pretty good. Uh, okay, the cheeser is the one that we have now. I think we could pretty much try these two and see what we can do with that. The ranged one could be interesting because you can move it, but it can attack you. So it forces you to to be smarter. And the charger is the one that I really like so far. Um, I think we might need to stop here before adding more characters because it's better to really understand the core mechanics of the game before moving forward. So yeah, okay. I think that sums it up. Um, I'm going to, since we still have like 10 minutes, I'm going to show you one of the, let's try this puzzle and, and see how it goes. And then we will end the stream. But let me first do something here because these libraries are basically getting in our way and we can't see anything. So I'm going to remove them and place a few of them that are like smaller. Now we have that. When I did this level, I didn't have these ones, but now that I do, I'm going to use them. See, the user can go past this, but we can now see what the hell is going on the other side. That's a little bit what we did those. What else do we have here? I didn't try this actually again, so because I had to redo it and change where everything was. We need to see if it still works. The only issue I had that I don't have the end of the level right now, and it was supposed to be somewhere like here, right? Yes, I think this is the place. No, one more here. I'm just going to put that for now. Even more so, I think it's better to have like this. Let's say that this is the end of the level. It's just a lamp, but for now it's going to be the end of the level. So if we reach there, not there, but more like here. Yeah. If we reach there, we win the level. So let's try it. Thanks for all. Thanks for watching, and remember to follow me and subscribe, etc. We will be continue to add more stuff to the game at good speed. So the next time you see it, it will probably be very different. Okay, so let's say that he sees us. And goes down. Now he sees us again. We can get him over here. Now we move. We go down. Now we have to lure him. So he goes down. And we can now take this here. The idea is to block the enemy from getting to us. So now I can go past him. And I can lure him towards this side. And now I can go back and the enemy is there. I actually don't remember how to make this work, so I think I have to do this. And now I think this is wrong. I have to be able to. I should be able to push this the other way so I can push it here so the enemy goes up again. Yes, I think this is not working right now because I forgot to add one more library here. Let's try it again one more time. So he goes down, we lure him again, then we go up, then we go down, then we lure him again, he goes down. Now we block him, now we lure him. Oh no, I get what? Oh my god, I have to restart. This is going to be a problem, by the way. We need to figure out how to restart the level without the player needing to doing everything again, because it can be very frustrating sometimes. You miss one move and then you have to go all the way back. So we will see how we do that. I have to get it to the other side. Yes, I messed it up again. You see, because the idea was to... I had to take down the box, and when the enemy goes down, I think we might have a problem here actually. I can solve my own puzzle. Okay, let's go again. The good thing is that about doing so many puzzles is that I forget the solution, so I get to play as a new player. I have that ability to forget about my own puzzles. It's a game designer's curse, but at the same time, it serves me well. Okay, so the idea here was to get this. Let me see if I move out. I think I messed it up somewhere. Can't remember the original how it was. I remember that it was supposed to be something like luring the enemy here. So this one goes have two stories, but I can't remember what was the solution. um, Let me think. I'm going to try the chat real quick. Okay, so okay, seems to be working fine. Okay, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. I will have to sit down and see how this puzzle was made before. I have some notes somewhere because I think that this platform needs to be next to this one. So when I go up, the enemy sees me. While it enters, I can stay. I need to no because if I stay in the platform, I go down with the other box. Yes. Okay, I will have to check. I can remember, to be honest, how the solution was, but I think it involves something like the enemy sees me, so we can move from this platform to this one without making this one go up or down. And right now, where the platform is, that won't work. So I need this one to be next to that one, probably. I think that's the problem I'm having right now. Mm-hmm. And another problem here is that this shouldn't be like this. This should be just one, like something like that. Because otherwise I can push it all the way. And the idea is that you have to get these two to be able to go around and do this. And when you do that, it goes down. Okay, so let's try to see how it works. So one thing I need to do here is to get this back near this, right? Like here. So I need to be able to get this guy over here and then move, right? That's the point, yes. So let's try it out real quick. Perhaps we can fix this relatively easy, and we can try it out. And now the ladder. Oops. So I think we could be somewhere here. The end of the level should be somewhere around here, right? So it doesn't clutter also. But at the same time, it has to be something like this. Let's see if this works. What? Almost there. Okay, so now it's trapped. Now I can see the only way to get this one out. I can do this actually. Yes, okay, that's good. And now I have to push this one. Okay, I think I did it in the wrong square, but I think that's good enough. Let's try one more time. I need to. I have some very serious issues with how much you can see from with this puzzle as well, so I need to improve it a little bit. What? These bugs, man, they are killing me. Okay, so this one goes down. Then I lure him. Go, go, go. I go up again. Now I push it, go down, go up again. Now I can get him towards this side. He ends up being trapped. Then I can push this little guy. I block his sight. So now I can lure him from the other side. Lure him from the other side. So now he goes down. Now I can do this. And now I need to get this over here. So the only problem that I have here is okay. I need to push it. No, it's not going to work either. Let me think for a second. Because the enemy is there, and I think I don't know if I have a way of pushing this one forward. This will level up the other platform, and then I have to lure the other enemy. I think this is. I guess I can go the other way around. I think I can do this. Oh my god, this is so hard. I'm scared. I don't know if this is going to work because he's going to step over, right? Yes. And now, oh my god, no. Okay. I'm a victim of my own puzzles. So I think one of the issues is that when I get to this point and the book is over here, I can't lure him. So I have to get this like more on this side. So I think I can remove like some of these libraries here. And just try to make it go from the other side. I mean, this puzzle needs some reworking, that's for sure. And this last part, because this part is interesting, the other one, the first one as well, but here it's really hard to come up with something. I have to lure him all the way up here, then come back, then try to get him there. So when I have the book here, I can go from here and then it goes down. Oh yeah, okay. This now it works. I think it works. Let's see. Hopefully it works. Once you do a puzzle, you need to like record, make a video with the solution. Otherwise, you forget, and then you are like 2 hours solving your own puzzle. But it's almost there. Almost there. So we go down, we go up, then we lure him. He goes down. Now I can push the box, the pile of books, then I can go around, and now this is one of the tricky parts. I need to lure him. I think think I did it. Now I make the other one go up, so I can do this and this. And now that the enemy is there, I can actually come from this side. Wait, he sees me. I'm over here. He goes down, tries, and I can finish the level. Yes. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Well, that's it. That's a good finish, right? I'm happy for finishing my own puzzle, so I think that's what the user is going to feel when once he solves this. We really need to do a checkpoint or something at this point, but yes, I did it. I think I messed this up actually because it's not in the right place, but I think I did it. I think we need to sort this out and the way how the platforms are. So we need to like rotate these ones. All right, something like this, and this one as well. I think it's going to be better if we use it like that, right? And if we push this box, so the player has more room to come from this side, let's say, leaves a little bit more room for errors. And the problem is that now this one won't be, we won't be able to do, and I can even, if I rotate this one the other way actually, now the user can't mess it up, literally. I mean, if you put the box here, the enemy is going to be somewhere around here almost 99% of the time. Even if you then go back with the box of something, like you can always come all this way around and then move all the way here. So this should be good to go. The only issue is that all this stuff is in the middle, and that's what I don't like. But if this still works, I think we can later try to figure out a way of placing it in a way that it's not right in between our eyes, but I think it's close enough for now, right? This is less error prone. And now the only problem is that first of all we don't need. Do we need this? Yes, we need this. Okay, we don't need this one. Okay. We don't need this one. Trying to clean it up a bit because it's kind of complex. So this is nice. The only issue right now is that I have this on this side. It's like, and if I have this one, I can clutter the other side. So if we can rotate all this, I think it might work, right? Like having this looking towards this way. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure, but let's see if it still works, and then we can clean it up a little bit. But now this will go on the way up here, and what we need to do is make these little guys they should be here. Okay. Yeah. Now we put it back down, and we try it out one more time. And I said I was going to stream until 5, and it's 5:20 past 5, so we are going to wrap this up after this run. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Little by little, more people is tuning in, and I'm not even sharing the stream yet. So this is a good sign. Okay, so let's go up, now down, then go up. I lure him once more, he goes down, then I push the 5 hooks. I block this dude from getting there. Now I kind of have to lure him towards where I am, and I think what are you doing, bro? Okay, this is broken. But yeah, I mean, it's in the same place as before, so if he's around here, we will be able to go this way and finish it up. So, okay, everyone. Give me a second. I don't know why this is not working, but the camera is not. It's all broken. What the hell? Give me a second. Okay. Oh man, it's been a long day. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. We're going to be wrapping this up. Yeah, see you next time. See you on Monday. We try to start at around the same time, 3 p.m. in Argentina, where I am, but it's like I think 2 p.m. Eastern in US, and on the Pacific time it's like 4 or 5 p.m. I don't know what. No, less. It's like 11. Anyway, we have all the information in the. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Argentina, and 7 p.m. Europe. So if you want to join us next time, I will be more than glad. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, etc. Yeah, thanks a lot for staying with us. See ya. Until next time.